Jalen Hood-Schifino's numbers are very good. He's got some great numbers, shooting 41%, 38% from three, 72% at the line. Malik Renew has hit the wall. He's kind of, or hit a wall. It seems like he's struggles at the free throw line. He's trying to shoot 3-pointers and he's hitting 14.3%. So it's like a Race Thompson type thing. I
don't know what your view on that is. My view has become Race Thompson hit those threes against Arizona.
Worst thing could have happened to Indiana.
It's nice to encourage the guy to shoot, and it's nice to give him confidence. But I think we've seen enough body of work last year and this year saying that Race Thompson shooting threes isn't where it's at for Indiana, and he needs to dial back on that. And Jordan Geronimo needs to dial back on that, and Malik Reneau needs to dial back on that. Patino's always, and I always default back to Patino because he was one of the first advocates of shooting the three-point shot. Is, if you prove in practice and you prove in games you can make them, I encourage you to take them. But if you can't, I don't want you taking them. And I've seen enough from those three guys to say, no, that's not your bread and butter for you to take those shots. And I don't understand why Mike Woodson lets those guys take as many threes as they do. It's not.
You are not alone.
It's like a turnover for the offense.
And a lot of times it's a turnover that turns into a fast break.
Yes, it is.
Transition points, which is Indiana's been getting killed.
Bates has proven he can make them. Trey Galloway has, proven he can make a few. So they've changed the way I look at that. That wasn't the case last year, but it is this year. So let them shoot it. I know you've got Kopp can make them. Xavier Johnson can make them when he was in. Hood-Schifino is not great at it, but he's at least functional. But those other dudes, knock it off. And that's what I would say.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no reason Race Thompson should be shooting a three. There's no reason that those guys should be. When you have guys that can successfully manage that, when you've proven you cannot, there's no question to it. The odds are it's not going down.
Well, there's a reason they're letting them have them. The other teams aren't stupid. I mean, and a lot of times it happens early in the game. The first or second or third possession, I've noticed a lot of the games, Race Thompson finds himself wide open at the top of the key or on the wing, and he's wide open. He takes a three. Most of the time he's missed it, and it's like that's a message from the opposing team. We're going to give you this shot all day because we don't think you can make it, and we think that's to our advantage.
Jess Settles was on with us earlier this week, and he talked about his last game he did was the Kennesaw State game, and he broke it down because he had time. He went through it, and he said teams are just parking a fifth defender in the middle and saying, "Screw it, go ahead." And that's working because people say, "Well, Indiana's offense is fine; they're just not hitting shots." Well, that's not true. If it was fine, I think you would be more efficient. These guys are not that inept that they can't be efficient. So there needs to be a change. He talked about Race Thompson coming off the bench because this is a typical lumbering Big Ten offense. Right. And you mentioned Purdue not having success on the national scene. I think about when they lost to, I think it was Texas Southern 2 years ago, and they just got outran. They ran them off the floor, and they're quicker. And when Indiana goes to Iowa, they're going to face a team that wants to score 90 points as long as they're healthy with McCaffrey and Murray. And with Race Thompson and Trace Jackson-Davis on the floor at the same time, they will have great success at doing that, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think we saw that, and it was Settles commented on it. A number of people commented on it after the game. Then in the second half when Indiana didn't play Purdue, they only played Thompson. They had one big and four wings. That the offense looked a lot better. You saw Hood-Schifino driving to the basket and getting layups. Bates looked a lot more comfortable. And like it or dislike it, that's the way modern basketball is played. With more guys on the perimeter, more guys who are shot makers or really good setting other people up with the ball. And Indiana can use that type of attack, but they've got to, play Trace Jackson-Davis in the middle, and I agree with you. Bring Race Thompson off the bench. And I don't know if you can do that. He's a sixth-year guy who hung around for this year. I'm not sure how you finesse that with the locker room, but you got to go to him and say, hey, our goals are team goals, not individual goals. And if you really want to win, this is the best way we can do it. And, I'm not a coach. I'm not in practice every day, but from the outside, that's the way it looks to me.
And I agree. And my response is, it's not about not being loyal. I don't think you're owed anything anymore. You have to earn what you get every day, especially now because these guys are being paid to play this game.
Right.
You're going to get paid sitting on the bench or playing or not. So you still have to give the effort, but more importantly, you have to be a part of the success or part of the solution, not the problem.
Well, and you've mentioned Renault. I think the one thing that's happened to him, there's tape on him now. They know he usually goes left. They know he rarely passes the ball out of the post. He wants to try and do he's got great footwork, and he's going to try and spin and duck and 2 minutes for a layup. And they double team him with the ball, and he's not great passing out of double teams yet. And he fouls too much, and he makes turnovers. And he's got to adjust to way the people have adjusted to him. And you're not a get off the lawn guy.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. I'm not trying to be, but I think we've gotten that this week. I think we've just been honest.
Thursday, they don't play for a week, right?
Yeah, and I hate that we're out of time because that's one thing I wanted to talk about. Iowa plays 3 conference games this week, and I don't understand this scheduling deal. But what's up next for you, buddy?
Well, Saturday is the Kentucky-Louisville game, probably the least anticipated Kentucky-Louisville game ever. At Rupp Arena. Both teams' fan bases are down, so that's what I've got on Saturday. I'm actually going to Bellarmine tonight. Bellarmine plays Liberty, the best team in the A-Sun in their conference opener. So
wow, well, that'll be fun to watch. Bellarmine's great anyway. Scotty Davenport doing a great job there, buddy. Make sure you give Rick a follow at WDRB.com. Would you have something else?
No, that's it.
All right, buddy.
I'll get back on the regular schedule next week.